We are live now, guys. It is the Indianapolis Grand Prix, the night before the Indianapolis 500. I'm like a little kid on Christmas right now. I'm ready to go. What a night we had last night. It was an exciting one, guys. Thanks for tuning in and joining along with the Chummy Motorsports F1 series. Let's get into it here. We got some guests with us. We'll be right back here with you guys. We'll get with it and have a little fun here tonight. Well, hello, everybody. We got a slew, and I mean a slew, most of the field here with us tonight, guys. And welcome here. We got Ayrton Smith. He wasn't in the field here, but well represented. We got Chummy Miller, the one, the only. We got Jacob Prilla Monster, Jason Cracky, Scott Schroeder, and Thomas Gould sitting here with us tonight. It was a fun one out here. Any words here you guys want to share before we start this one up? I heard somebody say, ah.
I heard that too.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Isn't that what you do when you're racing these cars?
Especially when you come off the launch.
Yeah, you come off the launch going.
That was my brain following Scott into turn one on lap one. I watched the brake markers go by, and I'm like,
What an exciting one it was, guys. Let's get into it then. Because if the only thing that we can say is, then I think we're ready to get this one going here. Let's see how this fares out here tonight. Or I should say last night. I can't say that enough. It was an absolute blast. Let's look at these practice results here. Downing on top of the board just by a little under a half second there. Austin and Thomas. Thomas, what were you trying to do the old bait and switch? Were you just trying to adjust to maybe the hard or the mediums? What was going on in practice there?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out what the mediums can do in a long stint, especially if like you take care of it in the early stages, or if you're a little bit more aggressive in the earlier stages, what it's going to be like at the end. I did a lot of hard compound testing as well, which turned out to be a little bit of a fluke. So I didn't really waste my time, but I spent a lot of my time on the medium and hard tires for practice.
Chummy, you're back there in 7th here, and that didn't represent kind of where your speed was here at IMS. Kind of the same thing for you. Were you feeling out those harders, maybe the yellows, the whites there?
I was doing more of the mediums, doing a lot of testing on those. Those were only going to be my off-brand. Start of the races, I was going to do, of course, the soft. But yeah, I did a little bit more practice on the yellows to get a little bit more of a feel to them.
So that is an interesting call right there. Chummy, I believe, is one of the only. We got Tim on the whites. Let's see here. Let's look down the line. I think Chummy was the only one to kind of go a little different route on the start there and go with those reds. Was the idea of just track position at that point, Chummy?
Yeah, it was more of just I kind of thought for the race after how many hours of practice. I kind of had in my mind what I was going to do. I was going to start off with a little bit softer just to kind of pace myself. If I needed to pick up my pace, I can, or if I needed to just pace with everybody. I wasn't going to worry about anything until a little bit later on. But as we'll find out during the race here, I found out you don't do certain things when you're trying to drive.
There you go. Let's get into the fun, the excitement here. Is we got a rivalry starting, and Jacob, you want to get us into that rivalry here? That is just it's heating up. The intense is just it's boiling over. Even before the race, you were calling it out, saying, I'm going to beat you today. Who are you talking to?
Yeah, that's Dan Stevens, and I'm going to tell you, oh my God, I should have beat him today or yesterday whenever we ran. I should have beat him. I really should have. Just going by lap times, I really just dropped the ball because every time I would get near him to make the pass, I would screw something up. But it seems like me and Dan are really like consistently close to each other on time no matter where we go, and it seems like he's the guy that I'm always racing against because I don't have anything for a lot of these guys, but me and Dan run really similar lap times, so I'm just like, I'm here to beat Dan, and I beat him last week, and this week he got me, and I was really disappointed in myself. I should have done better, but it was a good race run by him, especially on all reds the whole time. But yeah, the rivalry is forming, and it's forming hard, and I'm beating him next time at Okayama, like without a shadow of a doubt. I'm going to beat Dan.
The first thing Jacob says today is, we're at Okayama next week. He comes in, he's like, who wants to run some test laps at Okayama? So we'll see here. Let's get this thing started here. Looking at the grid here, Downing gets the top time, but just by a little here over Thomas Gould. So a solid performance. He'll get the bonus point there. Gould in second. Got Austin Anderson in third. Brad Haldane starting in fourth. Scott back there in fifth next to Chummy. And look at this. They start right next to each other. It boils over right there on the grid. Jacob Prilliman next to Dan Stevens. We got myself and Tim Trowbridge and Jason Cracky. Cracky, I was a little scared. I was a little worried with you behind me, but hey, you do pretty much the same thing I do on these starts. Like, I'm not gunning for that turn one win there. I'll sit back and wait here a little bit.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do a Jacob and take somebody out in the first corner.
That was not the first corner. We were at least halfway through the lap.
Here we go. Let's watch the madness ensue here as we get everything going. Boom. Here comes the start of the race. Let's get a little wider angle here on the dangle. Watch everybody going in.
And here I come.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, I really feel like, whoa, we got a little accident happening here. Let's take a look back here quick. Let's see what happened. The two Red Bulls, it's reminiscent, Scott, to what track were we at there? Not us, but what track were they when?
Was it Barcelona? I can't remember where Ricardo and Max just ran over each other.
Absolutely. We got some Baku. We got some other things going on here, so we don't want to go away from the issues here too quick. But it looks like Downing maybe thought he was a little clear, had a little more room into the corner when we took that. But Scott, is that Perlman right behind you here?
Yeah, I guess so. Yes.
Oh, that was not the first lap
That
here.
was
So
no, this is going to be
a little bit later.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on as Brad Haldane back here. Trowbridge got a little scary start as Chummy Daniel not firing off extremely fast. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I'm in that boat there as well. As I'm not hitting that gas real quick. I know how fast you can spin these tires, but he tries to go around there fast, and I just let it off. I said, go ahead there. It's all you here. So here we come around as Brad Haldane. He's making some quick ground. Chummy's got those reds, but Chummy, those reds, man, they don't come in quick, do they? It's not like instant.
You got to get a happy lap. Happy lap.
You gotta get a happy lap there. That's what he says here. So we're watching Brad. Let's switch over to Mr. Perlman here as he's coming down the straightaway. He's got Scott Schroeder there. They're going at it here. They're awfully close coming into it. Whoa! Jacob says he followed Scott there. That was Dan behind Jacob. So Scott just you overcooked it there. It looked like when we rewatched it last night that possibly maybe getting into the that little farther breaking point than what you were used to there.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I was in second, and I was just trying to put some pressure on Thomas, and I just locked him up. Once I started passing the turn, I was like, I just got to take the runoff or I'm going to wreck.
And all it takes is just a minor lapse of concentration, and boom,
I was in second, and I come out, and I don't know, 8th or 9th or something after that.
Right, absolutely. So we got a little battle here. Is Cracky? You see these guys coming? It looks like you just say, "Hey, go ahead, man. It's all you here."
Yeah, I'm not a real course, so I'm learning it. I'm gonna try my best.
Hey, I don't blame you. You're out there, you're running. That's all a guy can ask for right there. So we gotta appreciate that. And you stuck with it. You kept with it. You and I, we were chatting there for a good amount of this, and it's always fun having somebody there.
I think the big news here is look how close Chummy is to first place.
Chummy's nailing it right now.
And Chummy had speed since practice earlier in the week, and he was going to be a definite contender for a podium finish.
So, Chummy, you were with me pretty much for the entirety of the, 250 laps we put around this place in preparation.
Yes, sir. But what I found out, and it will show here after a few minutes, I cannot talk and drive at the same time.
He says that.
That is really hard in this car. And,
I find that Chummy too in road courses. I can't. I got to concentrate on the driving.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm in. My reds are in. I know now. It's just I've got a good 10 laps. I got a good 10 laps, and then we all got happy with ourselves.
So right now, you got Brad Haldane working behind you. There it is.
Yep.
Here it
I'm
is.
trying to. When the gentlemen all went off the course, we have a penalty, of course, because they went off the course. And as you notice on the right-hand side, we are all talking over there. And it shows the in-game mic up. It was just a little bit more tougher to do a good job when you're driving.
That was on me because when I was followed Scott off of turn 1 there. It obviously blacked Scott and then blacked me, but there was something wrong with my microphone because I was keyed up for like 2 whole laps waiting for somebody to clear my black, and it just never came. And I was like, shit. I was like, Chummy, I need you to get my black cleared. And he was like, oh, well, I'll try. And poor guy, I think it cost him some time. I feel bad.
Is that the voice of my rival?
Oh.
You're going down at Okayama.
He's making promises now. I did I hit a button I shouldn't have here. Give me a moment, and we'll get this figured out here. I do
See
apologize.
what Perlman does, folks? He throws people off.
That's a valid racing strategy.
Yeah, but I need to put you in their channel.
There we go. Whoa, and that's what Chummy was talking about. We got back just perfect timing here, Chummy. Perfect timing. Yes. Let's go into the vehicle here and see what happens. As Chummy was coming around here. And this is a tricky turn there. You just kind of little quick entry in there. A little low on the
You're lucky. Chummy did a good job to keep it off the wall.
Yeah, that was a nice save right there.
I was at that time, pretty sure me and Scott were talking because he got it taken care of. And if you remember during the race, you said, hey, if I need to, I'll leave the track. And then I was worried that you were going to leave the track because at that time I was trying to chase you down of where I was at, and I didn't want you to leave the race.
I think I just cleared his black because that's I almost had to pull over, and Austin Anderson got by me while I was.
Yeah, but at this time, Mr. Perlman was talking to me, and he goes, "Hey," he goes, "I'm sorry, he goes, you can come back." So about within a lap here, I started really concentrating.
And that's, it's a long race here because it's only lap 6 right now out of 40. And we got the top 3, Thomas out in front. There's myself, but Brad Haldane in front of me. And he's got a good sizable lead right now of about 5.4. My goal this entire time, I went into the race thinking to myself, I'm going to do yellows. And then Brad was starting to pull a little ahead of me, so I got to thinking, okay, I'm going to just try to go maybe 3 or 4 laps longer than Brad on tires. We'll see how that plays out here as Brad playing just a masterful tire game here yesterday. I got to give Brad a round of applause there. But Thomas, you're pulling away here, and what you're on yellows yourself right now. And let's see, you are hitting your best right now is a 108.47. So those tires really haven't came in yet.
No, to be honest, Brad and I, we were talking the whole time, and we didn't even realize, but lap 35 came around, and we were like, oh crap, dude, we got a pit. So, I was just going to the point of, we were just on autopilot, just trying to, keep the car on track. This track is so tricky with braking points and tire wear and just trying to control the car and keep it straight that we didn't even realize what was really going on for the most part.
Nice little move by Austin Anderson to take that 5th place away from Tim Trowbridge there. Trowbridge was having a nice night, wasn't he, Thomas?
Yeah, he accidentally started on the whites. So
That's a tough one to come off of right there,
Yeah. Yep.
That's a hard one.
He did a really good job though. I think even everybody around him was on yellows or reds, so the amount of grip that maybe some people don't realize that you get even from yellows to whites is a huge difference in grip levels.
Absolutely. With all the green and red and white on this one, Scott, a beautiful looking ride here for the BW Jaguar 1 team with you and Daniel. But it kind of reminds you guys seen the movie Cars? It's like
I was thinking
the
Yes,
Italian,
Wee wee.
the Italian crew. Exactly. They're ready to go here. These guys getting it done. The pit crew, I believe it was at that time. So
I thought it was the Grinch driving.
the Grinch, yeah, exactly. No, too much red on here. Not enough green. But that's Dan right now. Dan, you were having a solid run here. Your strategy so far this season seems to be red.
Well, my strategy mainly is just stay on the darn course.
Fair enough.
Stay off the grass, stay out of the wall, and as much as I have to do that, so be it if it's reds.
So let's take a look back here. As I think we got. Yep, I was gonna say I think somebody had a little accident there. As I saw Scott get around him. So Scott, when this happens in front of you, what goes through your mind? It's like, oh, just please don't come back towards me, or
Yeah. And this one wasn't too bad, but I think Austin spun in front of me like 3 times throughout the race. This one was the least of my worries because he was spinning off of the track. But there was a couple times where he lost it. I remember one going into one, and it was pretty harrowing to try to see the smoke and get around it.
So Jacob's the first one heading into the pits. Perlman, you're 9 laps in. You were on those reds, I'm assuming. Oh yeah, you got those reds on. So did you get the call from the crew to say, hey, y'all, you got to come in here? You burn them up. You done used them.
Yeah, I think maybe in that last lap, somewhere mid lap, I think I got really tight and pushed off and almost wrecked. And I told Chummy my plan was, I said, all right, I'm just going to assume that I'm going to wreck the car at least once. So I'm going to plan to pit twice. And I told Chummy, I was like, I'm going to go out on reds, and then I'm going to run them as long as I can and change to yellows. And I told Chummy, I was like, if I wreck the car mid-yellow run, then I'll pit and take another set of yellows. If for some reason I don't wreck the car, I'll still pit later and take on another set of reds to finish a race out. So I was trying to plan my inconsistencies into my pit strategy, I guess.
Well, hey, that's part of it, honestly. I think you do have to do that. Is you try to think of every single thing that can happen on the track, and heck, that's one of them right there. A little bit of inconsistency. As you just downloaded this bad boy, you're typical. So Okayama's a different situation for you because you've had that thing downloaded for what, 2-3 years now?
Yeah, I've been turning laps at Okayama in an F1 car a long time, but I'm still not Thomas fast.
Still not up.
Now figure out why the real F1 drivers have guys talking in your head telling you what to do, when to do, how to do it, and what's around you.
I mean,
they have a whole. I mean, I don't know how many mics they got, guys telling them certain things, but now I know why.
You make a very valid point there. Is you need somebody else to focus. As Chummy's gonna head in. Whoa! Somebody overcooks it here. That
was me. Me and Daniel were talking at this point.
I remember Cracky saying something about this.
Yeah, I had DRS on him, and he had told me go to the outside, and so I was going to go to the outside. And as soon as I popped around there was a car sitting there, and I just locked him up. And I didn't want to get into it, didn't want to hit him. I'd have a long tow back to the pits, so.
Yeah, Scott says.
I can't remember, was that Cracky we were lapping?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had lost it right there.
Chummy, are you in the pits right now?
Yeah, I just pulled up out of the way to get out of y'all's way. And
well, my biggest thing of it is I already had my plan. I was going to go the 10-11 on the reds, and then I was going to go to yellows because I wasn't worried about the race at the beginning. And once my brain started thinking, I told myself, okay, I'm going to go to 11s or 11th lap, and then I will start picking up my pace Somebody decided to eat somebody else's tires there.
It's an Anderson, and I don't know who that is.
Cracky.
Okay.
That was Red Bull on Cracky again.
So here's Scott. It looks like Scott, he's tiptoeing around you, Cracky. He's tiptoeing.
I hit the brakes right here like, go. Get out of the way.
Exactly right. I'm with you there. When you know it's coming like that, you just say, hey, go ahead, take it. Yeah, it's yours.
Then I go, I don't.
So
I've done wasted my reds now because my pressure was my plan was to put reds on start of the race, put pressure on the leaders, which I got up there in second on lap 1 and then overshot turn 1, locked it up from had been right here in the beginning.
So Anderson, he is now pit 2. So let's take a look here at the pit strategy. So we got Perlman. He has taken a pit here now. Miller has taken a pit. It doesn't show Anderson because he's coming out on his out lap there. So 3 of these guys, and I'd assume those are the guys on the reds. Daniel, you were on reds at this point. Are they starting to wear out on you?
Actually, we're on lap 13 here. No, they weren't. I was telling Scott, and you can ask him, I'm sitting there saying, man, I can go as long as you want me to. Because they did feel good for me. For some reason, it felt like I saved them just enough.
Yeah, and I actually had to tell him to go in. I was like, dude, if you're doing a two stop, you've got more. This is the longest you're going to go. You can pit now. And he's like, I think I can do another lap. It's up to you, but yeah.
So, and that's the one thing that would worry me, honestly, is when these reds fall off, they fall off. So I wouldn't want to be stuck out there and going, oh, that's the time. Because eventually, yellows, that's what it ends up happening with me there. And like I said, at least that's a more gradual fall off than the...
yellows really tell you when they're going. Reds,
Right.
when they go, it's kind of like full-time DRS. It's just spooky.
No, in a heartbeat, they're gone.
And that's why I ended up hitting 1 lap earlier than what I was gonna, just because I had that lockup. So I figured I might end up puncturing a tire or something if I stay out 1. Because if you do, in practice, you would get the meatball flag and have to limp back to the pits.
And see, I don't even think I pit until like lap 17 or 18.
So you were able to keep it. I mean, that's pretty nice there to be able to hold those reds for that long. Because I know myself, I just wasn't getting that sort of pull, that sort of drag with those reds. I was really just chewing them up.
Well, you had some speed going for you last night, and I don't know, for some reason, like I said, I was just able to save him enough, and it didn't slide out from underneath me. I was really at that point thinking about a 1-stop race.
If you look down the line here, I'm looking at the top mile per hours, and Dan, you've got it. And I don't know if you've had DRS. I don't know.
I don't think I had DRS much at all that last night in this race.
Whoa! Chummy just got to see some action there. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, I think that was Throwbridge.
Every time, was that you? I think that was Cracky there.
That was me.
Every time I saw, there was a couple times I saw Trowbridge in the infield, and my heart just went, oh, Thomas wrecked, because they were both running the Dogecoin one. And then I realized it was Tim. I was like, oh, man. In my head, it's like, hey, that kept me pushing, though. And like I said, at this point, Brad has me by, I'm still within that 5-6 second gap. But I start thinking now in my head, okay, maybe he's going to start to pit. Maybe he's pulling a half and half. Because I know he's on yellows. And that's a big, do you guys question, like, Chummy, you're going after Trowbridge right now in this situation. You got Scott up there. Are you questioning kind of in your head what his strategy is and trying to play off that? Or do you just stick to what you came in to do in your strategy?
Actually, yes, I stick to what I'm doing. I don't worry about the person until I get up on them, because like what we're right now, probably about 50 yards, and as you just noticed, he did his race, and that's what I learned is just do my race.
Right, absolutely.
Strategy is more in my tires. That's what I have found out. If I don't stick to my guns of what I'm going to be doing, then I get all flustered and I get angry at myself, angry at people around me. I need a spotter. Anybody out there, if you want a spot for me, give me a holler.
There you go. Chummy's looking here. Scott's looking to get some yellows here. And we'll say, Scott, what do you think? Don't give away too much, but I mean, looking at the what you know as the results, what do you think your pit strategy? Do you think?
Well, I know my teammate, and I know what he's doing. So he's going to pit this next lap, and I know he's going to pit once more from there. And this is going to be it for me. So I know I'm getting around my teammate once he, if not this time, but when he makes a second pit stop.
And I knew. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just right now. I'm just trying to break these yellows in, and telling myself, look, you can't make the mistakes you just made on the reds, because these tires have got to last you the rest of the race.
And I knew myself being behind you that you were going to have fresher tires. You were probably going to pull away because I think you were a little faster than me. I got lucky enough to stay clean through this all. But
I'll be honest, I didn't even know you were up there until there was about maybe 10 laps left, and you popped up on my relative when I was running in fourth. And I see you in third, and damn, it's Shawn. Maybe I can get him.
So that's what I'm saying. Right now, I was hoping to get close enough to use you for DRS, but you got right out of that range, and I was like, oh man, because I was trying to catch Brad. Here you see Tammy says, I'll go down there. I'll go down there. Thank goodness he made that call, because I think that would have been the end of my race there if he didn't take it down there. I'm glad, Thomas. Thank you. Excuse me. For bringing that up, because honestly, I wouldn't have thought to use that exit road there. We got a spin there. That was Daniel. Okay, yeah, that was Daniel. So now is it starting in your head? Like, oh man, I did it there.
I was just out of the.
He was on his
out of the pits and on my outlap.
So you had those fresh tires. It was.
Yep.
And you did have to be pretty cautious on the outlap with them cold tires.
And that was the thing that Paul Tracy said too, is those red tires, they're like crack, man. They are like crack. You get them, you don't want to get off of them. How many times did the guys that took the reds throughout the race, how many times do you guys end up having to bring it in here throughout it?
I would have stayed out just after that first pit, but I did come in a second time to change them off again.
Just for comfort. At that point, it wasn't for, you weren't going to lose a position. I'm assuming you were just doing it for comfort, right?
Correct. Yeah, I did not want to lose a position, and I had time to get it, so might as well.
Right.
And do you remember what lap me and you started battling for spot?
Oh, man. I want to say it was probably lap 27-ish.
I mean,
does that sound right for you?
I'm looking at it here right now, and Jacob, it looks like the distance between you and Dan, you're pretty close here. Let's look out the cockpit. Do you have a sight? Yeah, there he is. You can see him, so you're gaining on him here.
Well, Dan keys up when I like, and he got me mentally. I'm telling you, because I'm running him down. I'm like, yes, I'm coming, Dan. I'm gonna pass you, and he when I go to set up for the pass, he keys up and goes, "I see you back there," and I'm like, "Oh no."
The mental game on road courses is just as tough as anything else out there.
So what Jacob's saying is he wants a petition for a completely muted mic.
That sounds like a Jacob problem.
Yeah, you'll get that on the big jobs.
You'll have that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dan, you said that out loud again, just so you know.
Ah, darn it.
But no, like I really started figuring out and picking up some speed when I got like within sight of Dan, and like I hadn't practiced this at all. Like I got home at 8 o'clock and the race was at 10, and so I had 2 hours to figure the track out. But I really started like when I started getting Dan in sight, I started finding some speed in some places, and I think I can be in this gear here, and I can run this way, and I was doing good, but man, he beat me mentally.
Let's see.
And as you guys said earlier, the rivalry is young.
Oh yeah. Here I am. I'm coming up on you, Shawn, or Tommy Boy.
What?
I think that's you.
Whoa, there's Austin Anderson.
Well,
that's Brad Haldane in front of you.
Yeah, I popped my brakes right there because I look where I'm going to be going since I do have VR. So I was afraid that guy was still going to be rolling, and I wanted to at least kind of hold it towards the inside.
Hey, I don't blame you there one bit. Chummy sitting in fourth, having a solid run right now. And you look down the line still, 213, 214 there with Trowbridge. So the fastest that I've seen that, there's Chummy with a 222. He is screaming down that straightaway. So just a fantastic, brilliant exit onto the main oval track there. And that, it's, whoa, Chummy. Whoa, Chummy. You'll get that right there. You must have had Jacob saying something right there.
No, at that time, I was kind of pushing a little bit harder because my tires at this time were sticking really good.
Your eyeballs are sweating. We're 22, almost 23 laps in here, too.
Yeah, this is where I was like, man, I think I can go the rest of the race.
Oh, this is where I'm pushing behind Chummy. I'm trying to get her out for position.
Yeah, and if you watch here,
I'm going to make a mistake.
This is somewhere along here, Scott decides to do a whoopsie.
Yeah, this was my last whoopsie of the race.
I think Chummy even keyed up at one point and told me, he's like, I'm fighting for position.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking for a way around him. Chummy's fast. I'm like, dang, because I knew his tires were older than mine, because he pitted 5 or 6 laps earlier than me.
Yeah.
And I did know that because I could look up and see when people had pitted and see that he had pitted on what, lap 9 or 10 or 11 or something like that.
Yeah, 11. 11 I did go in.
So I knew he was 5 laps older tires than me. So I was like, man, I should be able to get around him. And I kept getting DRS and just could never get the job done here for a while. But I mean, we weren't running slow. We were really cooking pretty good here.
Yeah, we were moving quite along.
So you can see the three of us up in the front, keeping the 22 laps under our tires now. And here's where I'm starting to talk to Cracky. It seemed Cracky probably was thinking it was every lap, I'm sure, looking back on it. But it was like I was saying something every lap, like, man, I wonder if Brad's going to go in here this next lap. I hope Brad goes in here soon.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, he had a good run, and I was telling him, go ahead and take it.
Lock it up.
And he just...
Hot tamale.
He forgot the gear down, as I noticed right there.
I don't know exactly what I was looking. Am I going to have Chummy? Is he going to have enough room? And the next thing I know, I'm just...
At least that wasn't the meeting in the middle right there, because that could have been ugly.
No, I come out. I'm like 10 seconds behind him now after I get back on the track.
After seeing this, I'm never going to follow Scott into a corner.
I told you, if you're on the road course, I am not the person you want to be getting your braking from.
I mean, you gave that a try the first run. That's all. That's what you did there.
I don't know. Yeah. So like I said, I made 3 mistakes in this whole race, and those all 3 were right there. You've seen all 3 now, so.
So Chummy,
I think I would have heard it from in another race. Hold your brakes.
Yeah.
He did
And on
too.
that one, it was been a whole lot earlier because I was going to give him that inside.
Well, you did. You said go ahead and take the inside because I had DRS, and I
Yeah,
was
but
there. It
he-
was nothing you did at all. That was all on me.
whoa! Thomas goes in a little hot. Did y'all see that? Thomas doing
Yes,
a little rally
I
course.
did.
Really? I didn't see that. Wow.
Thomas makes mistakes.
That was you just get a little comfortable, a little just kind of miss it by a little. You're trying to put a fast lap down. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, it's lap 25 with the same set of tires that I've been running this whole time. And I locked up the front tires in a couple of other corners, and I just think at that point my tires were just they had enough of it.
Thomas, let me ask you this, because you're 25 laps in. You know you're going to pit once and put another set of yellows on. Are you guys thinking about pitting yet? Because you guys don't pit for like another 10 laps.
Yeah, no, because even though that one thing happened, I didn't really realize we were on lap 25. The next time I actually realized what lap we're on is lap like 33 or something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I key up to Brad and I'm like, "Holy crap, Brad, it's lap 33. Do you think I can make it to the end?" And he's like, "Oh man, we got to pit." And I was like, we don't need to pit. We can just run it. And he's like, "No, it's the rules. We have to pit." and so then after that, you can see, I think Brad pitted 35 or 34, and then I pit 35 or something like that. But yeah.
That's a good thing your teammate knew the rules, huh?
Yeah, right.
So yeah, and at this point, like I am holding on to it, but I'm not like losing too much time. What are you about, like a second maybe off of what you were pulling at the beginning, Thomas?
Oh, I don't even know, dude.
Brad just set his second best lap on that last one, so he is still out there just hollering it down. We were still pulling 109, but granted that last one you had the off course, so not an accurate one here. You just crossed the line with a 109.54, so still the fastest out there. So that is, for once I can actually say it really seemed like seat time really helped me out here as Chummy was with me, so some other guys with me that whole time. Whoa!
See?
I think that probably was Austin.
No,
that was me.
That
I
was
think.
Chuminator. Let's see. I think he hit those curbs. And
I thought Austin did that once right there too, and it scared the beavers out of me.
I was really pushing a little too hard here, and if you'll notice,
the
just hit
brakes.
those brakes.
Yep, that was the back brakes. All of a sudden, just said.
And I knew I'd
sir.
get a 2.5 penalty here, but at this time I wasn't too worried about it. I just sticking to my plan, and I let everybody that was coming by, I let on my I go. At this time I had confidence. I was racing a really fast race when I was staying on the track.
I remember that because I keyed up to Daniel and said, "I just got around Chummy," and he said, "Oh, you finally passed him?" I said, "Yeah, he was in the grab."
So you can see Chummy really pulling away from sixth place now. Daniel just falling back a little bit. You were battling there with Prilliman. He got ahead of you. We saw them. Prilliman, did you just get a little nervous with somebody right behind you? I know sometimes when I'm going through those tight turns and somebody's right behind me, I get a little worried. I get a little nervous.
Yeah, I think it was partly like mentally, I just wanted to get the pass done and like check out, but then at the same time I was still kind of mirror driving him just a little bit just to make sure that there wasn't like an area where he was notably faster than me before. Like I should have just made the pass and went back to running the laps I had been running because they were good enough, but at that time, I was so concerned about him getting me back that I was mirror driving him, and that's when I ran off.
And this is the point in the race where Brad really starts to put the gap on me. But man, Brad really holding on. He's only 14 seconds behind. I say that, but I mean, Thomas is a fantastic road racer, so kind of different level right there. Brad doing a fantastic job holding on here. Like I said, just 14 seconds back. I got to give credit to Brad in this race.
And Brad did a fantastic job.
Yeah,
he showed up and he was fast. So
it's not an easy track either. It's not like you would think. I mean, you don't have a lot of elevation change. It's not a lot of crazy high-speed turns. I mean, anything like that. It's a pretty. I mean, it's not a cookie-cutter track, but it's not the world's most intense road course. So, with that said, it's not a cookie-cutter track, and it's not the easiest thing to figure out. I think that flat terrain almost has just as much bite to it as a course with all the elevation. I mean, Thomas, kind of, what do you think about the difficulty level here at Indianapolis?
yeah, this is definitely a higher difficulty track on the whole service. I'd have to say, the dynamics of turn 1 and 2 and 3, the long sweeping corners, and then you have the really sharp short corners at the same time, and then just the last corner coming onto the oval. That corner is so critical, and then you go down the straightaway, you go past the start-finish line, and then turn 1 is so critical. If you don't get any of those corners right, you're not going to be getting a fast lap time. You're not going to be consistent. You're just going to keep beating yourself up to try to get those corners right. And like I said, these cars are more of a head game than anything. As you see somebody go off the track right there.
I think that was Austin again.
That one was Austin. That was the Red Bull there. So it looked like he had speed behind Scott, but just maybe a little too much speed.
Yeah, he's on red tires, and my tires are getting. I've got about 14 laps on these tires now, I think.
So yeah, absolutely, yeah. He was starting to catch you there. He did fall off, and Chummy's coming here. You're sitting about 6 seconds behind, but I think at this point, the difference in strategies, everything like that, has put Scott.
Right now, I'm just, and I knew Thomas was in the lead. I didn't know who was in second and third, just looking at my relative. But I'm a lap down because I pitted. When are these guys going to pit? And I'm thinking, like you, Tommy, I'm thinking in my head, when are these top 3 going to pit? I thought about saying something, and I thought, man, if they don't pit, they're going to get a penalty. And hey, I'm sitting in the
right. That's what I was like. At the same time, I was thinking the same thing there with Brad. Like, man, I want to ask him, like, man, do you plan on pitting any time in the next few laps? But at the same time, I'm over there like, man, maybe he won't, and we'll get to see what happens here. But it was a strategy, and like I said, I was talking to Cracky, and I think it's coming up here in the next lap or two, so I'll follow myself here as Chummy. I was telling Chummy, because I think you were a little faster than me at this point, and I was really trying to hold on to these tires. I said, man, if I'm holding you up, just go on ahead.
Well, I do remember you saying that, too, in the race.
That right there, I thought I was going to kill you right there, Chummy, because I really had to take that easy into that turn, because at this point, I have told Cracky, like, yeah, these tires are starting to fade a little bit. These tires are starting to feel a little worried, but he's still not pitting. He's still not pitting.
Yeah, you went from please pit, to maybe you'll stay out. Maybe you'll stay out.
Let me ask you this, Shawn. Now that you've went so long on these tires, does your strategy of yellow change? Do you put reds on at the end of the race?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Once I hit the point of, I think it was 8 laps. I think it was it.
Yeah, you've only got 8 laps left in the race right now, and you haven't pitted.
Yeah, so at that point, I told myself, yep, I'm doing it. So right there, I floated a little hard. So I'm starting to question myself now. I'm starting to question it. And again, I was going to try to help and use Chummy to get that DRS, and Chummy just says, nope, you ain't going to have the opportunity. So 1.1 second when I hit the DRS zone, I remember looking down at the relative. I was like, oh, my gosh, man. I can't catch a break. I took it, though, because I was third place. So at that point, you're not going to complain about too much, you know?
Right.
I think around this time, both me and you were
So
thinking of
God,
pit.
get a little
There it
air.
is. There it is.
right there is where I tell Cracky, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it on in now. So here I go to make my pit stop, and
I was like, did Brad Pitt or are you pitting yet? He goes, no, I'm going to stay until Brad Pitt. Never mind, I'm going in now.
that
I
was
just went off track.
pretty much what it was. It was perfect timing right there. So now Brad, he's sticking behind Thomas and really has not lost much of the lead here from. So let's look at the delta, and that last lap. So Brad must have had an off track himself that last lap because there's a. Oh no, that's only a 2-second. I thought it was a little more substantial than that. But yeah, Thomas and Brad really getting the life out of these yellows now. 34 laps into it. Let's take a look at the pit strategy and see the difference. So Prilliman, he's on a 3-stopper. Anderson's on a 3-stopper. Cracky's on a 3-stopper. Daniel is on a 3-stopper, the beginning of his 3-stop right now. And those 3-stoppers, I'm assuming you guys red.
I was yellow, but I went to red at the very end there. And just trying to learn these cars in this track.
Medium red.
Like I told you at the start of the race, my plan was to start on a red, and it faded kind of quick. And I told Chummy, I was like, I'm going to pit, take yellows, and then if this goes good, then I'll see what it does, or I might pit late again and take another set of reds. And then I think I had an off track or something, and I was like, yeah, I'm pitting now. I'm just going to take another set of yellows.
He says, I'm coming on in. I'm going to bring her on in. And that's pretty much what I said. You get to that point where you just, that car, it was probably 5 laps. I was really battling it, thinking to myself, like, man, I wonder if I'm just going too long now with it. And
yeah, I really think that the better drivers, like you and Brad and Thomas, I think y'all are actually easier on tires than somebody like me is, because I was just giving it the beans. I mean, I was, doing everything I could do to try to be competitive, just trying to find speed where I could find it. Whereas you guys had speed and you were able to save tires. So I kind of feel like when you're having to drive that hard to try to find speed, you're going to use more tire.
Yeah, actually, with these cars, you can over-rotate the wheel going through corners and whatnot, and especially with how finicky these tires are, it just absolutely kills the front tires. So if you find, like, the perfect amount of rotation in your wheel with every corner, obviously you're going to save tires. But that's more of a seat time thing, figuring out where the wheel needs to be in relation to the corner.
Thomas is going into the
Thomas in the pits.
lap 35. Let's see, does Brad, you get out ahead of us. I remember, like, because I tell Cracky, yeah, there he goes. I said, Thomas just pit. And he gets out. Well, something must have happened, because I think, did you have another off track at some point, Thomas?
I spun out at the beginning of the race. I had that off track in turn 1. I don't really remember.
Because it was some point, it seemed like Brad really caught up to you in the middle of that run, and maybe it was that one off track, and I thought you had pit and got out ahead of us still.
I can't remember, to be honest.
So those two are in.
I know. I get back ahead of Thomas here and get back on the lead lap. So you had to, Shawn. Oh.
Anderson.
Yeah, so that was Austin going around again, which scared the bejeebers out of me there again.
Austin, what do you have to say for yourself?
He
was
left.
consistent
because but he just left.
It was that same corner. He was having trouble with that corner because you can really bring in a lot of speed into that third turn.
Daniel had some issues with that corner as well, I believe, didn't you, Daniel?
This week in practice, yes.
Oh, I thought you lost it twice in the race right there too, right?
Was it? I know.
Right before the DRS zone.
I wasn't trying to scare you, Scott.
Huh?
I wasn't trying to scare you.
Oh, you scared me.
Yeah, no, he was.
Well, because a couple laps before this, you passed me on the outside of the backstretch and then just cut the nose off on the front going into one. So, and then I just got back around you. But my tires, I'm feeling it right now.
Yeah, so honestly, this Scott has. Let's take a look at the battle here because I'm starting to look at my relative right now.
Well, this is the first time when I've seen you in third. It was a few laps ago, and now I'm trying to push. So I said, "Oh, Shawn, he's 20. I think you were like 24 seconds ahead." And then when I hit the line, the next time I looked, and you were 25.2, and I'm like, "Oh man, he's got reds on. He's pulling away from me."
So I think I did. Yeah, I came out of the pits, and I was like, "Man, Scott might have a chance to catch me here. I've got to. I can't just put this on cruise control yet."
Yeah, and I was pushing too. I was like, "Can I get him? Can I get it?" And then with like 3 to go, I caught, and you were up to like 27 seconds. I was like, he's got. Unless he does something stupid, I'm not gonna be able to catch him.
This is about the time you were thinking I can go back and get another set of reds and get a couple of good fast laps because nobody's close.
I couldn't because Chummy was close enough that I thought he could. If I put a set of reds on, I wasn't going to beat Thomas's lap. I could see that, and it wasn't going to really gain me anything, but it could potentially lose me something. So I said, I'm not going to do it.
I was thinking about it because at this point, yeah, Thomas had only registered like a 107.4, and he just put down a 106 then at that point. So he got free and clear, and he threw down a really good one. And at that point, it was like, well, I ain't going to touch that.
But when I looked up there, I knew my fast lap time with reds was a 107.7 in practice. So even as 107.4, I'm not going to mimic that. I'm not going to be able to do it.
I felt like I was in a groove that if I needed to beat I felt like I could get a 107.5, 107.4, right around there. But like I said, once he hit that 106, it was out the window. But it was, I did. I felt like I was in a groove enough, and I had hit a couple 107s in that stint with reds, and I had clear air, clear traffic ahead of me. As I don't think at this point anybody was out there.
I just abused my reds. My fastest lap time came on yellows.
My thing was, if I was going to give it a try, I wanted to be sure if I spun it that I'd have enough time to get onto the track and still pull off third, and I didn't because you were coming around at the end there. And it was, because at this point,
like when I looked at it, the first time we were like 22 something.
Yeah, and I've gone to 29.
Last time I looked at it, like 3-4 laps later, you were 27 seconds ahead of me. So you were still pulling me.
Thomas in traffic now, so he pulls that fast lap, and then you get right into traffic. So perfect timing on that 106 there.
The dog.
Did you get to use DRS? How was everybody's DRS standard? Or situation, I should say, because I don't think I
got to use it a lot more here than when I did when I was in Watkins Glen.
So Thomas has opened it up right there.
Yeah, I was going to say, Thomas, he was able to use it right there.
Yeah,
I don't think I got
it. On the inside, I was just going to let Thomas go. I wasn't going to mess this race up.
And you only use DRS if you're passing for position? Because
no, it's any car.
Because there was a couple times that I had somebody behind me who clearly got DRS, but it would not work for me.
I mean, you
only get DRS if you're the back car.
Yeah, if you
is that it?
Yeah, if you enter the.
Well, that's cheaty.
No, it's used so that the car behind him has a shot to get past the car in front of him.
Oh,
and it always doesn't work.
And
it worked.
Here's the thing: it's not DRS at the where the DRS locators are, where you can open your flaps. There's a point before that where you have to be that 1 second. So there was a lot of times where I was close to that 1 second, but we hit the DRS zone. I wasn't.
What in the world?
Oh, that was the end of the race. Okay. When I wasn't at that right before there, so I couldn't open it up.
And I was catching Scott so quick. I was running faster times. As you notice, I ran a 32. I was running a 32.4, and he was running 32.7 of the interval. And I was I wanted to catch him so bad.
Yeah, my tires, I really used them up there for about 8 laps trying to catch Shawn, trying to see if I could do it. I pushed the heck out of him.
Yeah, I mean, I did everything I possibly could. And as we notice, there's our Dan and our Prilliman race team back there.
Not a team.
They're fighting it out, baby.
I'm still trying to finish my last lap. Everybody's just already stopped and putting around, trying to not run over nobody.
Trying to get it all out there, finish it up. But, man, that was an absolute blast. And I'll tell you, I couldn't wipe the darn smile off of my face. I had so much fun there. And I want to say that's really my first league race podium finish. I can't really recall another time I got a podium. So that was absolutely huge. I don't care the car count because I know there's a lot of fast guys in this, and faster than me, I should say. So I had an absolute blast, guys. It was so much fun. Thomas, you took the win here again. You're 2 for 2. I think we'll get you eventually. You keep that momentum up, but I feel like now I have an idea what momentum means, and at this point in your mind, I'm sure you're thinking like I got to sweep this series. I got to go for all 10.
Well, there's just so many things that can happen. Even the smallest of lockups can send you straight into the wall. Or, if you're not paying attention just going into a corner, just the slightest little bit, I mean, it's over. These cars are so finicky with, how you drive them and how aggressive you can be with them that literally anything can happen. So I wouldn't be surprised if something, did happen and we saw multiple different winners. I think it's entirely possible.
It's like the situation of rain there in a race there.
Well, we got everybody here, and we've already started practicing. How does everybody feel about 2 weeks from now at Okinawa?
I'm going to beat Perliman in his own game.
No, you're not. That's my racetrack. That's my racetrack. You're not beating me.
I'm nervous about that track.
I think because it's your racetrack, he is going to beat you.
Nah,
your confidence is going to be your
anybody else nervous about that race at all?
I feel good about it.
It's like you can make one very little mistake and it costs you big time.
I think it's going to be very, very fun. It's a very technical track, it's just one of those things. Like we were just talking about, if you aren't paying attention for a millisecond, it's over. Especially with the track.
The only thing with that track when it comes to wrecking is there are no small whoopsies canoodles. Everything is major damage.
Major damage. Yeah, you are right there. I will give you that.
The wall's very close to you. The runoffs aren't that big like they were here. So that's going to be an interesting race in 2 weeks.
I think we're going to see a lot of passing coming out of the last turn because that's such a momentum. I think that's
and it has really that turn has more to do with the turn before it than anything else.
Red at the end of the race there.
And you've got the Monaco-esque super tight turns that lead into the momentum turns that end the lap.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, just from practicing that last night, we put up a 2-hour practice, and by an hour and a half into it, I was ready. I was done. I was exhausted. I mean, braking left and right, and braking left and right, and I was wore out.
It was an absolute blast as always, guys. Check out if we always put the session up as like Chummy F1, Chummy Motorsports F1, something to that extent. So if you guys see that up, it's always an open session to the public. So come on in, join the fun in those practice sessions, have a little fun, get to know the guys here at Chummy Motorsports. Chummy, anything else you want to say here tonight? He had to go pee.
Away.
He fell asleep, folks.
Yeah, but
that's what happens when you get old.
So, gentlemen, ladies, young kids, and very old adults, thank you for tuning in here tonight. We'll see you guys. I'll go live a little from Indianapolis Motor Speedway tomorrow. As my legs shaking, I'm aching. I'm ready to go here at the Indianapolis 500 tomorrow, guys. Tune in as I will give my picks in the morning. I've got them ready. I'm going to make you wait, though. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you later.